Second video on the Xflow, is it?
Yeah, we've done some, haven't we?
I think
yes,
we have. So here we go, mate. I'm building up the bottom end. Want to get this thing in for Christmas so I can run around in it, don't I?
Yeah, need to get it running and make sure it's all right.
Yeah. Waiting for a few bits from Burton today for it. Only a few little bits. But got the majority of the bits here, mate. And I'm just doing the modifying the pistons afternoon. We went for the rods, mate, just for that little bit of peace of mind, really, so we don't put a rod through the side of that block and scrap everything.
Yeah, well, considering we're trying to sort of rev the thing.
What I'm worried about is we've spent a lot of time and money and that on this head now.
Yeah.
And it's got all the nice valves, so I don't want to chuck a rod out and bugger their head up. We got the rods, we got the pistons. So these are a Hepalite piston, but these are a pretty good one. And they're a 1300 piston, which is the smaller bowl, but they're slightly different design to most of the other 1300 pistons, I'll have you know. The pockets are a little bit deeper, but because of the cam we're running, we need to go deeper again, mate.
Right.
So we want to go about 240 thou deep on these, which is they're 4 mil at the minute. I'm talking in 1,000 mils here, and
Very confusing.
200 thou is 5 mil. These are 4 mil. We want to go to 6 mil.
Right.
Two reasons. One, for that extra clearance, so we've got no worries whatsoever. And two, just to drop the compression a bit, mate. And the reason is, before we started this video, I did a little dummy build to see, firstly, what the protrusion was, and secondly, to see what the CCs were in this piston to work out the compression ratio as it would be if we just put these pistons in.
Yeah.
So you took 50 thou off the top of this block.
I did, yes.
Yeah, and when I did my dummy build, with these at TDC, mate, there was 12 thou protrusion.
Oh, right.
So these would have been sitting down probably a millimetre below the block.
Yeah, pretty much.
So what I've done, I want them flush. So we've took 12 thou off the top.
Yeah.
Okay, so we get them nice and level with the top. So this is what I come up with beforehand. Always use the Burton catalogue. Although I know how to do it, I always refer to this just to.
Good to have it in front of you,
Yeah,
isn't
it's
it?
just to have it. And Burton, at the beginning of their catalogues, they come up, they give you all this sort of information. So it's really good. So we've got their engine capacity we can work out.
Yeah.
Obviously, when you bore it out, that's going to change. And obviously, if you ever stroked it, that's going to change also. And then you've got your compression ratio, etc. So this is my little chart of. I know what this means. I'm sure you don't. There's three things you've got to work out when you're doing the compression ratio, or four things. You've got to work out the overall capacity of the engine. You've got to find out the combustion chamber, whether it be in the piston or the head, the CCs of that, the volume.
Yeah.
The volume of the cylinder head, and also either the piston or the head. So what we've got here, we've got a flat head, so there's going to be no CCs in that.
Yeah.
But we have got protrusion on the valves. So what I did was take the inlet and exhaust valve, the diameters, work the diameters out, work the radius out, the depth of the valve, which is 1.5 millimeters protrusion, and these are the CCs I've come up with for both the valves in that chamber there. So I've come up with 34.5 cc's in the pistons as they were before I machined the pockets.
Right.
Okay, valves come to 3.48. So that is what we need to take that away, because that takes up space.
So that's both your valves added together.
Yeah, the volume of the piston, 34.5, minus the valves, 3.48. Add the head gasket volume,
Yeah.
which is 8.3, gives us a total of 39.3.
Is that your total CC
So
for the entire
that entire
one cylinder?
One cylinder.
The whole assembly.
Yeah.
You know.
So when it's at when the piston's up at TDC,
Yeah.
with the head on, all torqued down, that's the volume we got.
Okay.
So then what we do, mate, we work out. Says how to do it on here. We work out the capacity of the engine, and I've worked it out because we've borne it from 81 to 83.25. We've now took it out to 1689.5.
Right.
Nearly 1690. Divide that by 4, gives you 422.38 cc per cylinder. So what we do to work out your compression ratio, 122.38,
So you take your 1-cylinder CC.
add the CCs in the chambers, etc. Then you divide it by that, gives you 11.75 to 1.
Oh. So that's it before you've modified the piston then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what they reckon is these engines are, with a standard 1600 piston, these engines are about 9 to 1.
Right.
And they reckon when you put one of the normal 1300 pistons in, it can take it up to about 10.2, 10.3 to 1. Okay, so that's just to raise the compression. We're up about that, but we don't want to be running that, mate, which is good really, because I'm now going to work out what it is now I've machined the piston pockets. Okay. So you can see in there what we've done on these HEPA lights, where the pockets are, it sort of tapers down.
Yeah.
And it's very borderline on these bigger inlet valves, although both the pockets are the same. So the exhaust side will be way big enough. But what I'll do is take them out so they're even, so we've got no uneven weight either side. I've set it up on the mill there, and I've gone deeper, and we've gone 45 mil diameter.
Okay.
Okay. So now what we're going to do, we've put it up at TDC. Because it's flush, it's easier on this. It means that whatever volume of fluid you put in there is
that's
what the piston
that's what
is.
It's going to be, yeah.
So we put grease all around the outer edge to seal the gap, hopefully. And we've got a pipette, a big boy.
Yeah.
This is courtesy of one of our top viewers, Matt, from America. And Matt has sent us various gifts, mate. One of which, well, I say 1 million of which is the bags that we put on the engines. So he keeps sending us them periodically. We've got a cupboard full of them. Keep them coming, mate, innit? Can't have too many bags.
No.
And he's also sent us this. This is one of 4 little gifts, surprise gifts that he's going to be sending us. The second one is the stand there to hold this, so we can do it hands-free if need be. And it's quite a good little storage tool for it, isn't it? Saves breaking it. And what this is, mate, is a 50cc pipette with a tap on the bottom. So what we do is we fill it with water to the top, then I undo the tap until the water goes down, or the fluid goes down to 0. And then it goes the other way round, so it's not counting down, it's counting up. So as the fluid goes down, is how many cc's you use.
Yeah, it tells you how much you've used rather than how much is left.
Exactly. So what we've got is a piece of plastic here that we use with 2 holes, one that we fill it through, and the other one is for the air to escape.
Yep.
Okay, so we don't get any airlocks, and what we're going to do is we're just going to empty it until it completely fills up, mate. And you can start to see when it's about to fill up because it touches the perspex.
Oh yeah. Like that.
Here we go. About there, aren't we?
Yeah.
So, mate, we've pipetted it, and there's a few cc's extra there with those valve cutouts I've done, and that gives us about 11.5 to 1, which is a nice compression ratio for what we're going for, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's going to be over a 1 to 1. Well, I suppose before it was like just over 10 to 1, wasn't it? 10.3, something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
So, yeah, I'm really happy with that. We don't want to go too high compression, and at least we know we've got bags of room on them pockets. But that's the one I've machined, look.
Yeah.
See there?
Yeah, see it step down there.
Quite nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hey? So I'm going to do the rest now. Start banging it together, really, don't we? Dog's doing our head in with the old bowl, chasing the plastic bowl around. And then once I've finished that, I reckon we should do a video on the motor that you're doing, because we ain't even showed that yet, have we?
No, we haven't. We're halfway through it somehow.
Hopeless. So back to it in part 2. Want me to hold the camera?
Yeah, can
or
do.
not?
Well, I don't mind. Whatever.
Let's go over to see what you're doing, mate, shall we?
Yes, can do.
I'll take the camera.
Okay, that's fine.
Not even going to do the hair today.
Yes.
Normally does a little bit of the old hair.
Normally.
So, what have we here?
So here, we don't have the Jaguar block.
A Jaguar?
Jaguar 4.2 out of an E-Type.
Nice.
Yeah.
Early or late?
I don't know, is it a bit
late?
Later one, is it? Yeah.
Late it is.
So
make
is
sure
that,
my mic's on.
Is that better?
Just different.
Yeah.
Really, you just got to make sure you get the right bits because they do differ.
Right. I see.
So this E-Type is one we're going to get done by Christmas.
Hopefully, yeah. Should
Hopefully.
do.
all being well, and we're
Yeah.
not disturbed. I know you did a couple of days stripping it, mate, which is not
Oh,
your favourite job, is it?
No. The thing with the older engines, like these Jags and that, is they're all a bit like, you know, you take this, for example, this timing setup. I mean, you look at that, that is not simple.
No, it's
and
not really.
It's quite complicated and a bit over the top.
And this here is like an old school sort of vernier setup?
I don't know, yeah.
Or what?
Yeah, I think so. Gonna have to look into that more when
It's
it comes
quite
to...
advanced though for its time,
Oh,
isn't it?
yeah.
You're talking 60s.
And I mean, like, considering that's from the 60s, there's no wear on any of that. Even
No.
the chain looked alright. Obviously, that's a new chain, but the old one didn't look bad.
No. So these Jags, really, we find this timing chain setup, once you've got that all cleaned up and set up, like that's
It's not
basically
too
like
bad.
a cartridge there.
Yeah.
And we've done the cylinder head, because the cylinder head, we've got to do the bucket retainer kit.
Yeah.
All that consists of is 6 plates, which each side holds a bucket housing down, because these Jags have got housings that hold these buckets.
It's like a
And the
steel housing, isn't it?
Yeah, and the
they
housings do
tend
tend
to slip up.
shift, don't
They slip down or
They
slip?
slip down, and then or up.
So either way isn't good.
No, either way
No.
ain't good. It goes up, and the cam bashes it to
Yeah.
bits. So
But that hasn't happened yet on this one, but it's always a good idea, isn't it?
yeah, so we bought a whole engine kit, which consists of all the old Hepalite pistons there.
Yes,
Which are great quality.
They're good quality, but
They
they
are.
were a little bit out on the balance.
You do find that though, don't you, with these
Yeah.
old castings with a cast piston?
So I've had to remove material all around the bottom in the lathe.
Yeah,
Luckily, these got loads of meat, so that you don't have to start worrying about going through to the pin bore or anything.
no, when we do this, we try and take it from the sort of middle as
Yeah.
much as you can, and then have to go at sometimes they're a good sort of 10 grams out, aren't they?
Yeah. Well, it was getting on that with these. It was sort of 7, I think.
Yeah.
7 was the difference, but I've also, well, you probably noticed all the little bits of metal in there.
Yeah.
Had to deburr them, so they're a bit sharp around the edge.
Yeah. So you've got all these balanced up?
Yeah, all
Pretty
balanced. The rods are all balanced, end for end,
Okay.
all to within sort of half a gram.
Nice.
Yeah.
Excellent. So this is it's not a performance build or anything. This is
No, but it's it's nice
gotta
to have
be-
it all running smooth, and
it's got to look
it's
sort
a
of
Jaguar in it,
concourse.
straight 6. It's got to be
Beautiful.
silky smooth.
Silky
That's
smooth,
what they're all
mate.
about. So
And the secret is in the balancing, isn't it, for us?
it is, yeah.
So it's been a while since we've had a full Jag 4.2
I don't think
or
we've had one
3.8.
in here since around the time when I started.
No.
So I remember there being 1 or 2 around that time.
Exciting, mate. Looking forward to...
So yeah, the block's in the wash. I've stripped the paint off of one side of it, but obviously it's massive, so I'm
Yeah.
having to do it with the wire wheel on the angle grinder.
Yeah.
It's the easiest way, because we ain't going to get that in the blaster.
No. And the cylinder head is blasted.
Cylinder head's
So-
blasted. I was going to have to cut the seats, but all the valves sealed nice.
Yeah.
I've done the valve guides, which is why I'm surprised that the valves sealed well, but they
Yeah.
do. So
it's just a little
just
lap in.
them in, and they're all good.
Excellent.
New valves
New
as
valves
well.
anyway. New buckets.
Yeah,
And,
everything new.
Yeah. Very good, mate. Looking
just
forward to
do
seeing
the-
that in the next video.
Yeah.
When we start getting it back together. Well, mate, on the crossflow quickly, before we head off today. Piston down the hole.
Is this the final piston down the hole?
This is the final piston down the hole,
Nice.
hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we've got all our CCs right now. I've gapped the rings. To be honest, I've done no more, no less on this than I would a customer's engine, whether it be
Yeah.
race engine, road engine, whatever, really.
Well, we always do the ring gaps. We always, if it's
We do.
non-standard, then we check the CCs and everything. So
That's right, yeah. I was I didn't check the weight of these before I did the machining, so I was half expecting them to be quite a bit out, because we were just saying a minute ago about the Jag pistons.
yeah,
Can be potentially quite far out, but I think they were within 4 grams of each other,
Not
the
too
whole
bad.
assembly. So what I've done, mate, like you've done, take a little bit of meat out the base of the piston there, nothing drastic,
no,
and I've got them all within 0.1 of a gram for the whole assembly.
nice.
So this thing,
Have you had a look at the rods? Because normally the aftermarket ones are really good anyway.
yeah,
aren't
they are, yeah. I've checked the rods, absolutely bang on, to be honest with you, and the housings are perfect. They
Nice.
always are, these pet ones. I've never had to fiddle about with them.
Yeah.
They're really good. Crank's balanced within an inch of its life, so
Yeah.
you can't get this thing any more balanced than it is. So we're open for big old revs, mate.
Yeah. On the balancing, I noticed in the comments the other day, somebody saying about that we've taken weight out of the counterweights, and those counterweights account for the piston and rod, and I don't think that's the case.
Not on a straight 4.
No, not on
or
a flat
straight
plane
6.
straight 4 or straight 6.
No.
They only counteract the journal, don't they? In that instance.
Yeah. So just think of it as the crank assembly on its own, minus the pistons and rods.
Yeah.
All the pistons and rods do. The 2 that are at TDC will counteract the 2 that are at the bottom when they're bolted to the crank.
Somewhat inherently balanced design anyway, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
So,
I mean, the weights on the crank are to counteract pretty much the journal, the big end journal.
Yeah.
But if you take weight off there and balance the crank on a straight even, it's going to be absolutely perfect.
Yeah, and that's why we don't do the V's and everything, isn't it? Because
exactly.
they do have built-in weight in the counterweights for pistons and rods.
It all helps. Having a bit of weight there all helps with a bit of inertia for a standard engine to run all smoother. It's a bit like having the weight in the flywheel.
Yeah.
You don't want to go too wild, otherwise it upsets the inertia and makes it run a bit crap down the bottom. But by taking weight off, it picks the speed at which the whole assembly rotates. You can see what they mean, but it doesn't exactly do what they think.
Yeah.
More so does on a V, doesn't it?
Yeah, the V's and
or like, an uneven straight.
Yeah, like with an odd firing order. And
yeah, I'm going to assemble this, mate. Next thing, which we'll show in the next video, you can see I've got a duplex chain here as opposed to the single chain, and we've got an adjustable pulley. I'm going to be setting up the timing to see what to the cam spec, and then we can put the head on and hopefully get this thing done by the middle of next week.
Lovely.
Be nice, wouldn't it?
It looks good, mate.
Looks good. And there will be a gasket on here. I've just dummied up the water pump because I know someone's going to comment on that.
Yeah.
So yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Can't wait to drash it about and see what it goes like. Could we end up doing a few more of these cross flows?
Hopefully. I really like them.
Because I love doing them.
Yeah.
They're great. Well, thank you very much for watching, guys. Until the next one, have a great evening. Cheers.